Welcome back to an episode of Spirit of the North podcast. You have myself, Casey Blueford, my co-host Derek Murray. We are filming today, a couple days past Thanksgiving, so we are December 1st, 2024. Time has flown, time is flying. It's crazy that it's already December, but we are 6 weeks in the season. D, how you doing, bro? How's Thanksgiving? How's the fam? How's everybody looking?
Good, man. Good. Just getting ready for Christmas now. We went out and we did the whole chop down the tree thing. So
Oh,
that
y'all,
was
y'all kept
that
the
was
real
kind of
myth.
fly. Yeah, yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
kept the real middle of America. Y'all,
We on Nebraska for reals now. It's official. It's official. So that was kind of
bro.
cool. Amari had fun doing that. It's cold though, man. It's like it's a very chilly 25, man, and it's kind of like
Oof.
already getting snowy out here. So
Yeah, man. I mean, the cool thing about we both moved from California to I guess it'd be the South slash Midwest. It is kind of cool that they have seasons. We kind of get spoiled in Cali, like it's just good weather for the most part. I mean, Sac gets rainy, it gets cold, but for the most part, like it's just kind of like the same.
yeah,
But like when it's cold out this way, like it's cold, bro, and like you feel it. Like hoodies be different, like beanies. My beanie game is strong, pretty much from like November 1st to like February. It's just all beanie game, bro. So.
yeah, and the footwear too, like in sack, you can kind of get away with, maybe getting some Jordans off, in the
Yeah.
winter, where, out here you gotta pack you gotta pack the boots and then bring your nice
Yeah.
shoes for indoors. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
with the extra socks,
Yeah.
with the extra, with the extra socks, because you
Yeah,
might be hot or you might be stepping in some puddles. So
right.
it's cool, man. Man, we are shoot. I think we're in week 6 now of the NBA. Week 7 of the NBA. I lost track count of the as for official weeks, but we are almost to the quarter way through. I think some teams might actually be at the quarter way through point. So before we kind of get into that, just looking at like the standings right now, looking at the league right now, like what are just high level, what would you say like your two biggest surprises or like I kind of figured this was going to happen moments? Anything kind of stand out before we kind of dive into a few things?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So first, firstly, and I know we're gonna speak on them later in the pod, but the Rockets, man. I think we
Yeah,
all thought that the Rockets were gonna come on and have an improvement year. Especially with a lot of their young guys getting paid and getting better. But
yeah,
I don't think anybody had them being number two on the West on
yeah,
their bingo card this year. So
for
and I
sure,
know it's
for
still
sure.
early, obviously, but still for them to be there right now in the tough West, that's saying a lot for their progression so far.
No, I'm definitely with you on that one. I thought they'd be fighting for that sixth, seventh, seed, and maybe it does end up like that. They're like you said, there's still like a lot of time, so who knows? I think for me, there's a couple ones like the Warriors' fast start really surprised me. Have they come back to earth a little bit? Yeah, they're kind of like with that four or five seed right now, which is kind of where I figure they might end up between like 4 and 6 at this point, maybe even 7. Who knows? And then also on the sneak, the Orlando Magic. I thought when Paulo went down, I thought, oh man, they're going to be in that 8, 9, 10 spot. But shout out to Franz Wagner and the team in Orlando, who doesn't get a lot of national media attention, but they are the 3 seed right now in the West at 14-7. I'm sorry, in the East at 14-7. Better than the Knicks, better than Milwaukee, better than Indiana, like some of the prohibited favorites that we thought coming into the season would be above them. So shout out to the Magic, man. So
Yo, real quick,
mm-hmm.
if Cooper Flag is Franz Wagner ceiling, is that a bust?
I think it kind of is. I think it kind of, and only because I feel like Franz is a solid NBA player. But the way that they're hyping up Cooper Flag, which we're going to talk about the number one picks here in a little bit, so that's going to be a great conversation because we can kind of foreshadow. If his comp is what like Andre Karolinko ish, maybe Franz to some level ish. I know they kind of their prototypes are a little bit different, but I you know what? I'm gonna pause that conversation because I want to come back to it because I think that's
Yep.
a healthy debate because what are the expectations for Flag? from a media, from a mainstream standpoint, they're talking about him like he's
white
he's
KG.
he's yeah, like he's the ticket, like he's the punch ticket, right? Like
Yeah,
he might
yeah.
not be the big ticket, he might be
Like
the
the meal
raffle.
ticket.
He like
Yeah.
the raffle. He's the meal ticket for sure. So it's gonna be interesting because just watching him, and we'll probably have to dive into him a little bit more once the college season kind of gets a little bit further. But like I'm seeing glimpses of it, but at the same time, I'm not seeing just like breakout coming to the league, instant impact.
Right.
But then again, it's early. It's early, so we'll give him some
Grace.
flack. Yeah, give him a little bit of grace. But the team that we are not going to give any grace to is the Philadelphia 76ers, and that's where I want to start there. So Philadelphia is 4-14. I believe their big three with Maxey, George, and Embiid have only played together for 3 quarters. And I don't even know if they played the full game together before Paul George got hurt again. Embiid's been fighting nagging injuries. Low-key feel bad for Tyrese Maxey. Right now, Philadelphia is tied for the second worst record in the NBA. They are 14th in the Eastern Conference. Again, the Leastern Conference at this point. So my question for you, Derek, is what is your expectations for Philadelphia for the remainder of the season?
Man, this look, man, you guys know where I was at with Philly to start the season. I had them in the top 3. You know what I mean? Like, so this hurts to eat this, live right here on the pod. But man, at this point, I mean, they can only hope to be a playing team at best. And I don't even think that that's realistic, to be honest with you. I mean, Joel Embiid's got 4 games played. Paul George has got 9 games played. We're 20 games into the season. They've already missed more than half the season. Jared McCain is your best player. Tyrese Maxey, he's only got 12 games under his belt, and he's hit or miss healthy. Kelly Oubre's having a down year. The Martin brother, I don't know what he does. You know what I mean? Like, who on this roster is competing right now? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would say that this is an abject failure. Even if they rattle off like a couple here within the next few weeks, I personally, I feel like you've got to kind of restart the process.
Yeah, so I think that's the question that I kind of have right now. So let's look at their offseason for a second. You go out and sign Yabusele from France because he balled in the Olympics, so you pick him up. You have Caleb Martin, who balled for the Heat a couple years ago, but I think he's your starter. Which okay. You got Eric Gordon, he's still in the league. He's damn near our age.
He's unplayable.
You got Kyle Lowry, who's older than him, who's older than us, and still in the league at low-key contributing minutes right now.
Yeah.
I think him and CP are fighting over, grandfather point guards right now. Like, you got Maxey, who's your guy, Paul, who's supposed to be your guy. But I don't know what you do with this roster. I really don't know what you do with this roster. You just re-signed Paul George. Could you move him? I guess you could, but I mean,
who's gonna take Paul George?
Yeah, who's gonna take Paul George? Like Embiid, like I just how I feel about him. I just don't trust him. I don't trust him. Bruh, he's in year 8. Think about this. He's in year 8 of the NBA. He should be in his physical prime right now. He just turned 30, or he's about to turn 30. Just turned 30. Just turned 30 in year 8, and you missed the first 2 seasons, right? So technically, he's in year 6-ish of the league right now. And honestly, I really just question his will and his drive. Like,
listen,
to be very simple.
He's cooked. He's cooked. This year solidified it for me. Like, this was, I think I was placing a lot of expectation on this year because I was under the impression that it can't be worse than it's been, right? Like, he played in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
He saw how, guys like Bron, Katie, and Steph built their bodies up for the season. He saw how some of our greats prepared themselves, and this was going to propel him into one of those types of seasons, right? Well, the exact opposite has happened. It looks like he took a turn for the worse. You come into the season thinner, then you don't play, right? Then you say things like, I'm never going to play back-to-backs ever again. Then you crash out on a reporter in the locker room. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I low-key forgot about that.
Right?
I low-key forgot about that.
Then news comes out that you guys have a player-only meeting. Red flag, right? I know Paul George tried to get on this podcast and make it seem like that's not a big deal and that this happens all the time. Anytime you got to have a coach-free meeting, there's an issue there. Like,
and we're not even 20 games into the season. You just had training camp, let alone a players-only meeting.
That's like all the siblings in a household having a meeting without their parents involved.
All bad. Ain't nothing getting sought out.
So they had that, and then there's a leak in the camp there. So this is a nightmare scenario for Philly. And, in all honesty, Nick Nurse has to be looking over his shoulder, right? He just got paid. And Daryl Morey has to be looking over his shoulder.
Yeah. It really is the worst case scenario. And it's one of those, apologies, guys, if you hear my little one crying in the background. It really is just one of those scenarios. I don't know what you do to solve because your best player is at the root of this. And real quick, before we move to the next topic, I just want to recap the last, just 2024. Let's talk about 2024 for Joel, right? So you're coming off an MVP season. And did you deserve the MVP? Okay. Maybe some feel, maybe Jokic should have got it. I thought Embiid played well enough to where he got the MVP. Cool. You come off MVP season, coming into, this season, you're playing well, doing okay, have your moments. Okay. Help me understand. Playoffs, you get nicked up. Or did he get nicked up before the playoffs?
He got nicked up in the playoffs.
He got nicked up in the playoffs. You guys were knocked out in round 1, if I believe, by Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. Okay, fair enough. Then you go to the Olympics. So then you have at least 3-4 months off. You go to the Olympics. You're out of shape at the Olympics. And you're playing maybe 15 minutes at the Olympics. You play horrible with the exception of maybe 4 quarters the whole Olympics. But you're around the greats. You're learning. You're being tutelaged by Bron, KD, Steph. Like to your point, you're seeing all this stuff. And then you come into this, then you push your team to go all in this year, get Paul George. You're even campaigning on national TV during the broadcast for Paul George. They get Paul George. They go all in. You come to the season out of shape, and then you miss the first 12. Dude, it's just so bad. It's so bad. So I don't know, Sixers fans, I don't know what you guys do. Like you got to blow it up, but where does it start other than your best player? Well, so I'm sure we're gonna have some more conversations about this at some point.
A better pod than this one would have their contracts info and all that. I didn't get too in depth with that.
Yeah. That'd be our whole A block. That'd be our whole A block, and I don't want to give that too much time right now.
Yeah, but they got to blow this thing up, man. They got to blow it up, and they've got to start from scratch. I would keep Maxey, and everybody else could go basically. Maxey and McCain.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about McCain a little bit later because he's averaging more than Paul George right now. So, but with that being said, speaking of the Eastern Conference. Right now, I think we still have the Cavs at 17-3. We got Boston 16-3. We saw what happened when Boston played at Cleveland. Boston showed that they are still the elite team, in the Eastern Conference. Question for you: are the Boston Celtics going to walk back to the NBA Finals? What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Short segment. Yes, they will.
Yeah. I mean, they don't even have Porzingis.
Yeah, they don't. And the thing about it is, they're 16-3.
Porzingis is a number 2 or 3 on a championship contender.
They don't have KP. My thing is, I think we texted the other day. The Cavs remind me of the 21 Utah Jazz, solid regular season team, out in the second round. Now, this Cavs team, maybe they make it to the conference finals. Like they are balling, but on this in a 7 game series, when things kind of shrink a little bit more, pause. Like, can they beat a team 4 games out of 7? I don't even know if they could beat the
Look,
Hawks. I don't even
look,
know if
man.
they could beat the Hawks 4 games out of 7.
This past 2 weeks has showed me you can't buy stock on Cavs Island, man. You
There you
can't.
go.
You can't.
Say less. Say less. Well, now that's done. Let's move over to the to the 2 seed in the Western Conference, and this is where we got to give a little bit more time. And while I like the players, I did not, and I like the coach for sure. Definitely like the coach. I didn't expect the team to have this much early success. Houston Rockets sitting the number 2 seed in the West at 14-6. You have 2 potential All Stars with Segun and Jalen Green. Yep. So between Alberine Segun and Jalen Green, I think both these 2 could make the All Star team this year. You have a pretty balanced team. Like on paper, they're. I was a little bit hesitant to see, okay, how are they going to look, this, that, and the other. But no, they look balanced. They look professional. They look like they are in it for the long haul. What are your thoughts on the Houston Rockets at this point in the season?
Man, I think they're hanging their hat on defense, man. I looked it up. They're second in the NBA in defensive efficiency, and they're fourth in the NBA in defensive rating, which is basically how many points you allow per 100 possessions. And
They're
they
third.
only
They're
allow
third.
100.
They're third in points per game too. Up
Yep.
points per game.
And then you look at the offensive productivity, and you got Jalen Green averaging just a hair under 20 points a game. You got Sengun a hair under 19 points a game. Fred VanVleet 15. Dylan Brooks 12. Amin Thompson 12. You know what I'm saying? It's like
solid.
These
balance.
guys aren't. They're passing the pill around. These guys aren't dominating the ball. They're playing within the flow of the offense. I mean, these guys are the highest minutes per game is Jalen Green with 32. So it's not like these guys are playing an exorbitant amount of minutes either. I think they're well coached. You know, props to Ime Udoka on his lightweight, his redemption tour, right? I think that Houston is sustainable. I don't think that they're going to remain number 2 all season, but I don't think that they're going to fall out of the playoffs either.
What would be a successful season for them?
Playoffs,
just making the playoffs. Yeah,
I think playoffs. You know what I mean? They don't even got to win in the first round.
Does this kind of have that 23 Kings, Sacramento Kings feel? Number 3 seed in the West. Unfortunately, they played the Warriors the first round. Warriors
I
were
might
just
jump
probably the
over
one
the Kings.
Team. Okay.
I might even say this is giving. I don't and look,
Memphis.
I don't want to jump off the ledge here. It's giving OKC.
2024 OKC or last year OKC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you think about it, it's a young team, save for a couple vets, right? You got Fred VanVleet, who's been in the league for a minute, and Dylan Brooks. Outside of that, everybody else has been in the game for maybe 4 seasons or less.
Yeah.
And they're doing this.
How about 2022 Memphis Grizzlies? You know, they won the first round. They lost to the Warriors the second round. Warriors ended up being the champs that year, but Memphis, that's the year Ja got hurt. Go figure. But Memphis fought well, you know, second round, but we're just knocked out. So, yeah.
I can give him that too. The reason why I lean towards OKC, though, is because of all of the capital that they have going into next season. So even if they take an L, where the Grizzlies seem like they couldn't recoup after that, Houston could make a move for another stud, really. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And be better next year. So I'm giving them OKC leaning, but it could be either of the two, honestly.
And it's interesting. I feel like you know, just looking at, like, I thought Reed Shepherd would have a little bit more run. So shout out to Fred VanVleet, because Fred VanVleet, good Lord, is he's averaging about 30 minutes a game. He's balling for him right now. He's averaging in that mid-teens.
He crashed out on a rep the other day. He saw that.
You know what? I had it loaded up, so we're gonna hit on it right now. Exactly. I actually had it loaded for when we do our our what's it called? Our little highlights. So let me just get to it right now. Fred for those that did not see this, Fred VanVleet was wilding on the ref. Yo, this is unacceptable right here, bro.
Fred VanVleet looking stocky.
Bouncing back after getting blown out last night. They're going to get this win.
Like, bruh.
Gotta be careful. Hopefully he didn't make contact.
That was crazy.
Yeah, crashed
It
out.
looked like he hit him, right?
I feel like for those that can read the lyrics, I'm not gonna not the lyrics. Read the words. You suck, you effing suck. And you a BAN. Here you BAN. Or here you be. You a B.
That's crazy.
But what's funny is to me is like you can say all that and then you gotta walk back to the locker room and like act like nothing ever happened. Just get shot and shower and just get on home, bro. Like
well, that's instant text too. You know that.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you step foot in the crib, you getting that fine text.
Hey, he probably checked the account on the way home. Like, you start doing that mental math. Like, all right, 400K minus 25. Like, all right,
yeah,
we straight. But
which gives you a greater respect for Draymond, right? He's giving millions.
Draymond, oh man, that's
he's
a whole
giving millions to the game, man.
Hey, one day on the pod, we gonna do the Draymond highlight reel. Have you ever seen the Draymond highlight reel on YouTube?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we gotta do that for like Christmas or something like that. That would be great. No, but man, with Houston though too, man. Going back to their defense, man. What do you think about? I know we kind of talked about this in text, but what do you think about Amen Thompson and Tari Eason, right? Because right now they are kind of on the second unit, right? They're anchoring the second unit. They're doing the dirty work, right? Because let's be very clear. Jalen Green ain't locking nobody, all right?
At all. It's a bus pass. He gives you the bus. Hey, just slide on through, bro.
So Amen Thompson, he's on his second year, right, of his rookie contract, which means he's due for extendo next season. If you're Amen Thompson, are you pining for more minutes throughout this season and into next season, or are you playing your role for overall team success?
So I think this year he's playing for overall team success. Now, if you look at it, bro, like, so the starting lineup is Fred, Jabari, Jalen, Dylan, and Sengun. But the lineup that has the best plus minus, for a decent amount of minutes is with Fred, Thompson, Jabari, Sengun, Dylan. Right? So no Green. So obviously you got to throw Green in there. But I'm looking at these top 3, 4, 5, 6, like their top lineups all together. Thompson's in every lineup. So in my opinion, you got to figure out what you're going to do with Jabari. So wait, let me see. Thompson, how big is Thompson? He's 6'7". Okay, 6'7" small forward. Jabari
they got him like essentially as a guard though.
Who, Thompson? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So who's getting moved?
They got him as a forward, but they play him as like a wing basically.
So who's not on this team next year? Is it Dylan? The Dylan because Dylan's on year 2 of a 3-year deal, I think, right?
I keep Dylan. You need a goon.
You do need a goon. That's for sure.
You need a goon.
Maybe it's just bench time for Dylan.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe Fred VanVleet. How many more years does he have on his contract? Another 2?
I think I think he's got another 2. I think they just re-signed him.
Man, yeah. Jabari's got to go, I think.
Yeah.
Because and that's no knock on Jabari. I don't think that.
Oh, Fred's only got 1 more year after this, so he's owed $45 million.
You might find a place for Fred.
Yeah.
Fred and Jabari.
Yeah, I definitely think you got to go. You got to go with the youth though. So, shout out Houston, man. They balling right now. I'm sure we're gonna make sure we have some more to talk about them.
Hey, hide your wives from EMAC. You know what I mean? When they're at their most successful is when he strikes.
Yo, that's cold, bro. That's cold. All right, that down. Let's move forward. So moving forward to we're gonna give D the floor to get some stuff off his chest. Pause. And what's bothering you right now?
Man, Lakers, man, they cheeks right now. They cheeks right now, man. I think it started with so they had a couple tough road games, right? But they were able to kind of rewrite the shit. But for me, it was the game against the Magic where it just kind of showed me, man, like defensively, they can't stop anyone. They can't stop anybody from penetrating and getting to the basket, man. You got it. Franz had 30 plus, ended up hitting the game winner. And I just think defensively, as much as we give JJ credit for, his schematic offense, defensively, man, we can't guard the broad side of a barn, man. So Lakers are 12-8 now. They're sliding. I want to say they're, in a play-in position right now. I'm not confident that when we play against teams over 500 that we can have success, because most of the time it's going to be a great guard or a forward who can get his own on the wing, man. And for whatever reason, we're just having a tough time stopping that right now.
Yeah, so you hit on that game winner. I had to pull that back up the archive. This was queued up for our last one. I haven't talked to you since then. But didn't it start from a Bron missed free throw and AD missed free throws?
Yeah, I want to say AD missed.
AD missed both.
2 free throws and Bron missed 1.
Do you feel like things ain't been nothing was the same since then, huh?
Well, the thing is, AD is still hooping, right?
AD is still
hooping. Hey. He's still averaging 30 plus. I want to say, Austin Reeves is kind of sliding a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta have an uncomfortable conversation though, because low key, it's the king. Bron been averaging like 6 turnovers like the last 5 games. So we know this, we know this ain't gonna be forever. We know this, but I feel like that's the reason, one of the reasons y'all been losing. Like Bron ain't been Bron the last 5 games. Let me see. Let me try to look this up real quick. I saw a stat. I saw a stat on Bron's turnovers. Let's see.
He's averaging 4 turnovers on the season.
He's on okay. So on the 29th, when they lost, he had 6 assists, 5 turnovers. He had a Draymond night, 12 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. Let's see, 12 points, 5 turnovers. It's kind of hard to go a little bit further back, but yeah, he's been average. Nonetheless, he's been a little bit less. To put it in simple terms, he's been a little bit less careless with the basketball as of late. So
he's been a doggone late liability out there. Essentially, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
and I was gonna touch on that. I was gonna ask you, do you feel like his age is catching up to him this season? On Twitter, or I guess X, formerly known as Twitter, the trending topic "Father Time" was going strong over this past week. And I'm thinking, maybe they're talking about, the Kendrick, some Kendrick music or something like that. So I go in there and they're lighting the king up, man. They're talking about, I want to say it was one of the last few games where, like you said, he had like 12 points and, some change. He had a Draymond night. Do you think Father Time is finally catching up to the boy, or do you think he's just conserving energy?
I think he's just conserving energy. I think he's having little mental lapses over the course of the game. Let me see something. Where's his minutes at? Because they've been talking about LeBron's minutes for all these years now, but he's at 35 minutes.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, I think JJ's doing a really good job of managing.
And honestly, I'd say he comes down at least for the next month. Can he get him to around like 28? right? Like he needs like Bron's at the point of now, like these Tuesday, Wednesday night games, like he don't care about these games no more, right? Like
Right.
it's all about May, April, June, like for LeBron James. And like I think it's just a stretch of basketball. He's just lack of focus. I think he's just not focused right now. What reason? I don't know. But yeah, I think he needs a week off, reduce some of these minutes. Like they're still in contention. I think they're still right in the pack of the West. And if you could find a nice little stretch, maybe 1 or 2 stretches over the course of the season where you can give him, 5 out of 8 days off or something like that in a row, like just to kind of refresh his mind and body a little bit. Like we'll see him bounce back. So I'm not
Now,
too.
one last thing I'll say too, man. Gabe Vincent, what are we getting from him? Right? Has he done anything of note since he put on the purple and gold?
Since he left Miami, that one
D'Angelo, how long has he been loading? This Negro got PlayStation 1 speeds.
Yo, I know we texted the other night. What do you do with D'Angelo? Because he can be a bucket off the bench, but
he's not though.
But he comes with all the other craziness.
Man,
so
his first step is so slow, man. It's crazy to watch.
Do you move him for a decent big man? Like, what do you do with him?
Man, well, the question is, who needs a D-Lo, right? I mean, maybe Philly.
Philly like Goodwill. They just take anything right now, bro.
Who needs D'Lo, man? Who needs D'Lo? We know he's not starting, right? He's not starting, and his price tag is decent. So I guess like that is of value to a team looking to kind of offload.
What about a Utah Jazz? What about a Utah Jazz? Would you take back maybe they want to offload Colin Sexton or offload Jordan Clarkson?
Man, I would take because I know we need a big. I would take that big white boy down there,
Walker
man.
Kessler?
Walker Kessler,
Walker
man.
Kessler?
I'll take him.
Yeah.
I'll take him in a wing. You know what I mean? On some like Popeyes, give me the white bread and a wing. You know what I mean? No, but he's got to go by deadline, man. We can't keep putting the same roster out there and expecting different results. And honestly, Rui, in my opinion, might be out of there.
Yeah, I think they hang on to him a little bit longer. It's just, to me, it's just like, what are you going to get for him? So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I think we do need to come up with a nickname for that backcourt though. The Reeves and the Connect. We got to come up with I don't know if it's I don't know what it's going to be, but we got to come up with a nice little nickname for that one.
Hey, I'm all for giving Connect more minutes. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I think he's deserving of it.
Just let him learn in the fire.
And real quick before we move on, I just want to shout out Austin Reeves because I love the fact that he's capitalizing on this opportunity to play with LeBron, to play with AD, and he gets better every year. And I got mad respect for players that get better every year. So, shout out to Austin Reeves. Real quick before we move on to the next section, let's talk Emirates Cup real fast. So let me pull up the Emirates Cup standings. Because I think this week is this week the last pool games? I think it's like the last group play games. Let me see.
Man, where do you pull up the standings for that?
Oh, I'm on NBA.com right now. Let me see what this. So last pool games. All right, so the last pool games are this week. So starting on Tuesday. Yeah, starting Tuesday night is the last one. And then we got the knockouts starting next week. So let me see. NBA.com standings. Okay. So Group A in the East, we got Orlando and New York, both at 3-0. And they play each other. So that's perfect. So somebody's going to be going from there. Maybe even both of them.
It's going to be Orlando. They got the point differential.
But they have to play each other. One more game.
That's right.
Yeah, so they play each other. So that's a good opportunity. The winner goes. And maybe even second person still goes because I think one from each West and East goes too.
Conference, yep.
Well, Milwaukee and the Pistons, they play each other. So one of them go. They're both 3-0. And then the Atlanta Hawks, who've been balling, they finished theirs at 3-1, and Boston's
Hold
at
on,
3-1.
hold on. Atlanta Hawks have not been balling.
And I'm talking about in the
in the cup. All right.
only cup talk here.
All right,
Only
all right.
cup talk. They beat Cleveland the other night. Actually beat Cleveland twice. One of them was actually for the cup game. So the Hawks are 3-0. Sorry, 3-1. Boston's 3-1. Looks like Boston has the point differential, but Atlanta did beat Boston in the head-to-head. So Atlanta's going, maybe Boston too. We'll see. So we're looking at possibly Orlando, New York, Milwaukee, if they beat Detroit, and then Atlanta. So those would be the four out there, in Boston maybe. Those would be the four out the East. West is
It looks
looking
like
like
Atlanta is clinched.
Yeah, Atlanta clinched. So Atlanta's clinched. Milwaukee or Detroit's going to go, and then Cleveland, Orlando or New York are going to go. And then whoever second, there's only one second place, so it's either going to be Orlando or New York, Pistons or the Bucks or the Celtics. So we'll see who has the most points. Looks like right now Boston has the most points, and I'm sure they probably will at the end of this. So we'll see. Now in the West, we have Houston clinched. So shout out Houston. They play the Kings with one more game left to go, but they clinched. Kings, well, yeah, we'll wait till Emil comes back to talk about the Kings.
How you go 0 for 3 in the cup?
And that play is asinine.
That's nasty.
You lose at Portland. Spurs, OKC, Phoenix, kind of all tied. We'll see how that kind of plays out. Lakers are kind of out of it now. We'll see what maybe the Spurs kind of make a little run. Maybe they play at Phoenix, so we'll see. And then Warriors clinched. And so it looks like Warriors and Rockets for sure. Then we'll see what the other two look like. So
let's keep it a buck, Case. Let's keep it a buck, man.
What's up?
Let's keep it a buck. Year 2 of the cup. I'm not feeling the same energy.
Not the other.
I'm not feeling the same energy.
The energy is off. The energy is off this year. It's not the same excitement. Like they over here
I
talking
feel like
about
these
the
guys
All-Star
aren't
game
tripping
now.
right now.
Nah, last year was new. It was fresh. Like when I saw Boston, like when they lost to Atlanta, and then I think they was kind of close with the Washington. I was like, okay, they don't care about the cup. Like these guys don't care about the cup.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the cup goes. So, with that down, I do want to move over to. I got to show you one. We talked about Franz game winner. We talked about VanVleet. We talked about Dalton Connect a little bit. I was going to bring up LaMelo Ball, bring up some LaMelo Ball highlights. We'll wait for email on that. But then also to see the injury just come out too about LaMelo. I feel like
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's his annual injury to a lower extremity. Very, Zion-esque per se.
Strain calf.
Strain calf, I think it is. But I'd be remiss.
He's hooping
though.
this year.
Melo's hooping. That's what I told. I really hope that he can just come back. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up this one though. I'm sorry, gotta do it.
Bro, come on, man.
Bro,
like he's trolling now, type.
Bro, and then hold on. There was another one.
I can't believe that, bro.
There's another one. Hold on. I can't.
Suggs like he's gonna take somebody top.
Flips it up, missed it.
Bro, what is this?
Bro, why the hook shot? Like
what is this?
It's like it's that energy, like playing hoop in your hoop career. There was always that dude who made it, like he took the most difficult shot solely because he knew he wasn't gonna make it.
It was a cop out.
He wanted to have that as the caveat, like, but it was a hook. But it was a hook shot, man. That's a tough shot. It's like, bro, you could have just went straight up. You could have held your position, head faked, and got a better shot.
My question for you is, when the deal is done, because I'm pulling it up right now, who's re-signing Ben Simmons, or who's signing Ben Simmons, or is his NBA career done?
The Guangdong Sharks.
The Shanghai Sharks.
Or the Guangdong Tigers.
Yo, this is his last, bro. This is his last year on the deal, making 40 mil this year.
Man, highway robbery.
Hey,
Robbery.
shout out Rich Paul for getting that deal done, because 40 mil, like, honestly, I feel like this might be his last season in the league. So Ben Simmons has made about 165 mil in the NBA. Hopefully he saves some of his money, because that's it. That's it. With this
Man, what
performance,
happened
that's
to
it.
this dude, man? What happened to this dude? I don't understand.
Hey, on the sneak, not to the same level, but to the same passion. I feel like we're seeing it with Joel Embiid. Like, not to the same level, like, understand me, right? Like, obviously skilled, but that passion, like, you get paid and something's off. Like, something, is it the organization? Because it started in Philly, and then it kind of just trickled downhill from there. But like, I don't know, man. Like, he got paid that 1 year in Philly. He got up to 30 mil, and then he just was never the same. And I just feel like it's a lack of passion. I feel like these guys, they get that first contract, and that's it.
Yeah, man. Some guys just go to work.
Yeah.
Others
Like,
want to excel at work. You know what I mean?
Touche. Before we move on, because I do want to hit on one thing as far as NBA drafts, the first round picks. So before we move to that, I do want to highlight, shout out Jared McCain. We've been talking a lot of shit about the Philadelphia 76, but shout out Jared McCain out of Sacramento, out of the North himself. Minus all the TikToks, all the craziness. But shout out McCain for probably leading the case right now for Rookie of the Year. And it's probably the one highlight for the 76ers in themselves. So what's your thoughts on Jared McCain?
Man, he shoots with a lot of confidence, man. And I feel like we're in an era, you know, the post-Steph era where shooting is highly valued. And if you can come in and immediately shoot with confidence at a high clip and knock them down, you're going to be successful in the NBA until we change the current status, right?
I'm a huge Duke fan, and honestly, coming out of Duke, I was like, no, there's no way he ain't doing that in the league. Found the right situation, putting the ball in the net. So shout out McCain, man. All right,
He got to stop with all the little TikTok stuff, though, man.
Yeah, he remind me of like Juju Smith-Schuster, bro. Like, just play ball. Like, you're doing all kinds of extra stuff. Like, that's.
You got a vlog and all of that, man. Come on, dog.
This generation different, bro. This generation is different. All right, that down. Let's move over to. So we're gonna move over to NBA number 1 draft picks. So this is a conversation that Derek and I have had over the last couple weeks, specifically pertaining to Cade Cunningham. So we're trying to figure out, okay, is Cade a bust or is he not a bust? What are the expectations for Cade? So before we kind of get into like the last, 5-7 years of our first round picks, I want you to share, where each of us are going to share our opinions of what is expected out of a number 1 draft pick in the NBA. So you go first. What are your thoughts on what should the number 1 draft pick exhibit? What should they do? How should they, react? Not react. How should they impact an organization? What are your thoughts?
Look, man, this is going to sound ridiculous, what I'm about to say, but I feel like it is the expectation as far as I'm concerned. You got to everybody's got to come in like MJ, basically, right?
Like the GOAT?
Not MJ at the end of his career, but essentially the expectation is you come into this franchise, you change the landscape of this franchise right away. Mm-hmm. Obviously you go through your rookie woes because you don't know the game yet, but I say by the end of your rookie contract, if your team isn't in position for success moving forward, then there's a problem there, in my opinion. Like, you should be in playoff contention or in the playoff hunt by year 3, regardless of what that roster looks like, because that's why they drafted you for, right? Like, they drafted you because they were really bad. They shouldn't continue to be really bad after they've drafted you number 1.
You're right.
And I think that's where I'm at with it. And I say MJ obviously wasn't a number 1 pick, But as a number 3, MJ came in and immediately made organizational success happen for that franchise. It started off with him just being excited, right?
Mhm.
Him just galvanizing
Yeah.
the fan base into having something to root for. And by year 3, he's out there cooking bird on the wing, going between through the legs, dropping 60 on him.
Jesus and sneakers. Jesus and sneakers. Those brothers of Jesus and tennis shoes.
So that's where I'm at with it. I feel like, especially for somebody like Cade, I mean, the Pistons have been a perennial top 3 pick for the last 3 seasons. Damn
Yeah.
near, right? To me, that's unacceptable. And if this was anyone else, if this was Bron, if this was Luka, if this was you name another player, we would be saying that this person is a bust, even regardless of whatever their individual stats look like.
So let's get into it. So we're gonna go back about 10, just to kind of have some spark some conversation. We're gonna go about 10 years, 2015 NBA draft. So we're just gonna touch on a few names real quick, pause. So Karl Anthony Towns. Do we feel like he did what he's supposed to do as the number 1 pick when he went to Minnesota? I feel like he did okay. He started the process per se. He wasn't the guy, but he kind of started the process. Were they in position to be in the playoffs? Not until they got a guy. That a guy meaning Jimmy Butler a couple years later, right? A proven player. But I think that Karl Anthony Towns, he's had a good NBA career. So
I would say no.
I'd say yeah. He's done okay. No, okay.
I would say no solely off the basis of when they traded him, they didn't get that return that
ROI
was equivalent of a number 1 pick. You know what I'm saying? Or a franchise player, if you would.
So real quick, best player in this draft, Devin Booker at 13.
I would say so. Man,
Yeah.
Jahlil Okafor, what happened to him?
Ooh, we're not going to hit that one. Let's go 2016 because that's a bust of all busts. 2016, Mr. Zoolander himself. We got Ben Simmons, number 1 overall. Ben Simmons, Brent Ingram, Jaylen Brown, Buddy, Jamal. This is actually a pretty good draft overall.
This one.
Okay, let's put this on the list though to read. Yeah, for sure. Because this is actually a pretty good draft. For the most part.
Yo, what happened to Dragon Bender?
Yo, Thon Maker, remember Thon Maker?
Who is
all right? Ben Simmons,
33 years old.
So Ben Simmons was part of the process, and this is a clear no for me.
But you know what though? His first 3 years, I would say, yeah. I would say he lived up to his expectation.
Okay.
It was after that rookie contract when it started to fall off, really.
Okay, touche. Best player in this draft, Jaylen Brown.
Man, I would say
Pete Jamal Murray. Pete Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm. I would put Brandon Ingram up there as well, probably.
Yep, good draft. I like that draft. Let's go 2017. Oh Lord, this is a huge bust. This was the bust. Markelle Fultz, Lonzo Ball, Jason Tatum. Yeah, Fultz bust. We're not even going to get into that. Forgot how to shoot. Forgot how to play. But
if we were redrafting this, Jason Tatum would be the optimal number 1 pick.
Yeah,
he would be. He's the number 1 pick expectation.
Yep.
Right.
De'Aaron Fox would be a slight number 2 for sure, but Jason Tatum for sure is the number 1. He is the expectation. Mm-hmm.
To buttress my point, we are aiming for. Our hope is, as a franchise, to get Jason Tatum with every number 1 pick, and not just him as a player, but his impact on our franchise
and on the league as well. Absolutely,
exactly.
2018, we got DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, Luka Doncic, Trae Young. So honestly, out of this draft, we know Luka did what he's doing. Trae Young
Luka should have went first, right?
Luka, you can say the same thing with Trae Young. They both have impacted their franchise, impacted the league. Teams have made it deep runs in the playoffs. But those are the only 2. Bridges became a nice role player. Shea, down here at 11, who might be the first MVP out of all these guys on here.
Yeah.
This was a
This
Porter
is a
Jr.
solid
This was a
draft.
strong. This was a. We'll have to do this one too. This is a strong draft. We'll have to definitely redraft this one because I like this. I like this draft. But Ayton, nope. Showing up late, talking about you was snowed in, and I'm not even gonna bring up the story. I forgot the story. Showed up late to practice because he was snowed in or didn't have a ride to practice. It was something crazy.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
It was sick. Oh, Jalen Brunson in this draft too. I forgot he was second round though, right? Yeah, Jalen Brunson. Yeah, we got to redo this draft for sure. This is Bruce
Now
Brown.
looking at these drafts, and I know we'll get back to it, but Cade isn't busting like these guys.
No,
Like the busts that we've seen up to this point,
Yeah.
Cade is not in the same category to me. So I will say that.
This was a very high profile draft. You got the Zion, Ja Morant, RJ Barrett draft. You got Darius Garland, Rui, Jackson Snow
Hayes
Hayes.
is an pick.
He was in Austin,
That's crazy.
and snowed in Austin. So did Zion do what he's supposed to do?
No,
Clear
absolutely
though.
not.
Ja Morant has, but
even
still
Ja is not far behind Zion.
He's teetering too. RJ Barrett became a solid NBA player. This was a nice draft though, for the most part. Like Tyler Hero down here. Alexander Walker's become a solid player. You got nice little role players on this draft.
If you're redrafting, would you just flip flop Zion?
Do you take Jordan Poole higher?
And Ja?
Jordan Poole's got to be higher up here now. Yeah, I'm taking.
Yeah, I would
Ja.
take Jordan higher.
I'm taking Ja. I'm flip flopping for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, even knowing what I know now, I'm still taking Zion too.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to, right? All right, 2020. So this was the COVID year draft. No, sorry, it's one more after this. I think it's one more. 2020, Anthony Edwards. Yep, so we talked about the Jason Tatum. Same type of analogy. Anthony Edwards is the face of your team, face of the franchise, face of the league, damn near. Like this is who you want. So for sure, James Wiseman bust. LaMelo Ball, he's kind of in that Zion-ish range right now. Like I think he still has a little bit more time, but hopefully he can stay healthy. Right? You look at games played.
I will put Melo in the Cade category.
Okay.
If LaMelo is if LaMelo is the number one pick, would we say he's a bust?
I think we look at him just like Zion. Just like Zion.
Exactly.
Like look at games played. 321, 202. Like you should be like when you're with somebody in the same draft class, like y'all should kind of be linked up as far as games played, right?
20 games off.
Yeah, for playoffs or something like that, right? Like you talking about
120 games.
That's a season and a half, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's kind of sick. You got who else was in this draft? Halliburton down here at 12. Halliburton probably would get picked a little higher.
You talking about the snowman?
Snowman, yeah,
He'd probably be third.
He probably would. It would
be. I go.
Maxey, look at Maxey though. Maxey down here too.
Yeah. Oh man. Top. All of them are in the top 5.
Emmanuel Quickly, Peyton Pritchard would probably be a little bit higher too. Nice role player.
Desmond Bane would be higher for sure.
Desmond Bane, yep. So, yeah, maybe this was the COVID year. Or was this
I think so. I think so. I think that's what
yep.
saying.
Yep, this COVID year. All right, here we go. Now we got the Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green. Again, look at games played. Like Cade Cunningham substantially lower than Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes.
Didn't Cade miss a full season?
I don't know if I know he missed like at least a half a season for sure.
Yeah, like where's his win shares? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. I'm just not enamored with his like number stats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you look at his field goal percentage, he's only shooting 43%.
You know what? That's very valid point. Very, very
20
valid
points
point.
a game. Yeah, he's not blowing me away, man. And they're about to, for all intents and purposes, Detroit could blow it up. and start all over again.
Think about it. This draft had Trey Murphy's a good pick in this draft. We know it's Sengun. Who else is in this one?
I'm lightweight taking Scotty Barnes over
Yeah,
Cade Cunningham.
Barnes for sure. Cam Thomas out here hooping. Like this draft
Yeah,
actually
bro.
wasn't too bad, but yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a good point.
I'm
Cam at the
lightweight
top.
standing on my Cade take, man. I'll
No,
take all the
that's not
hate. You know what I
that's not a bad
mean?
that's not a bad take because I think right now you can make a case Jalen Green could have went one. Even Evan Mobley
Evan
on the sneak.
Mobley.
hmm Now if Evan Mobley was one, he wouldn't be. He'd be more in that Karl Anthony Towns type
Yeah.
vibe as far as you know what I mean. Like you're not the guy, but you're doing okay. All right,
But
let's
like,
keep-
you
let's
know,
keep
you look
pushing.
at Scotty Barnes. I mean, like, it's not like he got drafted to a winning, successful.
That's
You know what
true.
I'm saying? Like,
That's true. At least they
and
made the
they still
playoffs.
won some games.
hmm
So yeah,
This one we got the Paolo, Chet, Jabari. Again, Chet missed the whole season, so games played. Keegan Murray, Jaden. This is an interesting draft. So I feel like this draft is still kind of being played out. I think we're kind of starting to see who is, you know, who is what they who they think they are, who we
hey,
think they are.
Dyson
Sorry.
Daniels.
Solid. Yep.
Dyson Daniels. He's the reason why the Hawks look as decent as they look right now, to be
He's
honest.
actually really hooping. Walker Kessler, solid. Yeah, so will we say Paolo's been a solid number one? I think so.
Except for
think so.
this brutal injury, man.
Yeah, this unfortunately. But yeah, this Paolo has lived up to it. Jabari at 3, still we'll have to come back to that conversation probably end of the season.
Yeah, I would say that probably doesn't hold up.
This one, Wemby, say less. You know, we already know. Wemby's year 2, he's already transcendent, right? So
Scoot
I'm
gotta
interested
scoot
to
out of
see
here.
the rest of these dudes aside from, you know, men and who else? Lively's found a good spot. Even Grady Dick, pause. Like he's
Yeah,
out
he's
here
hooping
hooping.
kinda.
He's hooping
He's
though.
kinda hooping.
Yep. I think Jordan Hawkins has a nice little role. I think with the Pelicans. Jalen we already know. Jaime Jaquez.
Bruh, the Lakers could have had Jaime Jaquez Jr., bro.
Yep.
And Cam Whitmore. Like, come on, bro.
Sick. And then that leads us to this last year's draft, which I don't even know who the number 1 pick was, bro.
Ricochet. Hey,
How's
he's
he
decent.
looking?
He's
Okay.
decent, man. He's decent.
Okay. Okay.
He's a nice little wing, man. I'm
Pod,
not
my
mad at
apologies, Pod. I have not seen him play 1 minute this season.
it.
So I will do some homework.
You're not missing a whole lot, but he's got a smooth little game though. I can't front.
Yeah, I'll do some homework on it. I've seen Castle play for the Spurs a couple times,
Castle's
but
nice.
Zach Edey I've seen a couple times. So like none of these guys are blowing it off the screen. Like
The other pick for Memphis is pretty solid, man. Whoever they got in this draft after Edey, I can't remember his name.
Jalen Wells.
Yep, Jalen Wells.
He's averaging a smooth 12 as a second rounder, averaging 12 points.
Yeah, he's
That's
decent.
solid, bro. Rookie season. Can't forget about Bronny. But yeah, no. So what we'll do, we'll go back. If not the next pod, we'll go back and we'll redo some of these drafts just to kind of re-inspire what our thoughts would be in modern day times. But can't leave the pod today without talking about the new Kendrick Lamar album, GNX. First off, overall thoughts, and then we're just gonna tie it all together. The GNX album drops. Drake suing Universal Music Group. Kendrick's throwing shots at Wayne, but not really shots at Wayne. Wayne's in his feelings. Wayne goes to the booth, or does he really go to the booth? What's your take on all this, man? Where you stand?
Listen, man, get out of Kendrick's way. Like, why are we doing this, bro? Why are we doing this, man? Just let Kendrick cook. I mean, he's having an incredible year for hip hop, right? Like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody put up a year like this as a solo hip hop artist. He cooked, arguably the most popping artist in the game, right? Easily too, right? people were saying, "Oh, but he ain't dropped no." But he did all that. He ain't dropped no music yet. He ain't dropped no new music yet. Surprise drop, right? 300 plus thousand first week, right? People trying to slight that. That's tied for his second highest first week in sales with To Pimp a Butterfly, right? Which people will consider a classic, right? And this is his most straightforward work yet. Like this is easy listening K-Dot, which everybody's been asking for. Extremely cultural, given West Coast what they were looking for this year, right? To mob out, right? To get their gig on, right? To drink their gin and juice, right? And he's gonna be rolling into the Grammys with 7 nominations, and then the Super Bowl where he will perform and fully let his nuts hang on the state of hip hop, right? So we've got to get out of this guy's way. This guy executed to perfection a hip hop takeover, and regardless of what Lil Wayne has to say, regardless of the lawsuits that Drizzy is trying to levy over UMG, his own label, right? That's not gonna stop the boogeyman's motion. All right, it's so far gone at this point, right? So shout out to K-Dot, man. He's having an incredible year. And I'll let you cook on Drake in this lawsuit, man.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna hit on that. I just feel like that's just petty. But I want to see how it all plays out. But I want to ask you, because obviously we got a Hoop podcast. K-Dot's year, because I think this is the best year by a hip hop artist I've ever seen. Is this a 2016 Steph unanimous MVP season? Like what season is this? Is this a Russ triple double 2016, 17 season, or is this a Jokic 2021 season? What year is this? Or are we going back to the GOAT, Black Jesus? Is this a 1993, 92 season? 70? Let's go.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I'll be real. This is a
hostile takeover. This is like a true takeover season, though.
That being said, I want to still, even though this guy is a cornball at this point, right? And it's clear he's out the game. Drake did have a hell of a run, man. He had a hell of a run.
Years?
How many
15?
Countless number ones. There was a point where everything the guy dropped was a dog.
Yo, is he done? Is he done? I don't think he's done. Is he cooked?
He's cooked. He's cooked.
It's
to the point where it's to the point where the game is looking forward to J. Cole's project over his at this point. You know what I mean? Like J. Cole is out the midst of this battle is in a higher position than Drake is at this point. And I think the lawsuit is really what did it. The lawsuit's really what did it. If he would have just took the L and let
he should have took some time off. That's what he should have.
Yeah, just fall back. Just fall back. This is K-Dot's moment. This K-Dot's moment. You let him have it, and then you drop your next project and hope all's forgotten at that point, right?
Like J. Cole.
But saying less would have been the right strategy. You come out with these, fruitless petitions to start lawsuits, knowing full well, and now people want to say, now the narrative is, well, he's doing it to change the landscape of music. These labels, man, they've been using these tactics for years. He's doing this to basically watch the party die. And I'm not hearing that, because they were doing the same things for him for the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Especially after Meek. Meek was on the other end last time this happened, right?
Exactly. And now that it's happened to him, now he wants to pout and grab his controller and take it home. So I'm not here for that. I think he's cooked. But to answer your question, I would say 2016 Steph.
Yeah, unanimous first year unanimous MVP season. You're probably right.
It's clear. There's no question.
It's clear. No, very, very, very true. So, all right. On that note, bro, I got to get out of here. I got the little ones embarking on the pod now. You want to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. All right, we'll see. Well, we got the cup, the rest of the cup this week. So let's see how that kind of plays out. Hopefully the energy is a little bit better this week. And yeah. All right, bro. I'm gonna catch you.
All
Outro.
right.
Say bye-bye.